welcome to the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio. I'm Marie Waite and this is Kimmy Ader. We are here at the Mesilla de la Vino with the winemaker. His name is Justin Knight. Justin, welcome.
Yes, thank you for joining me here at Mesilla de la Vino. Glad to have you.
We are so excited to pick your brain today. Tell us a little bit about your background. How on earth did you get involved in the wine industry?
Sure. Well, I grew up here in the Temecula Valley, so that's really where it began. My mom introduced me to a few wineries in town, and that was essentially my first step in the door. I always knew growing up that I wanted to do something with my hands and something chemistry background, so it was the perfect marriage.
I love it. I love it. So you've been in this industry now for how many years?
About 12 years.
12
Yeah.
years.
12 years. Wow, that's amazing. I mean, I see all these wines here, and what is your favorite?
So my favorite here at Mesilla has to be the Malbec. It's one that we're most known for here, even though we're actually a Spanish-style winery. The reason why I love Malbec so much is because it's one that we grow here on property. It's an estate wine for us, and I really love how it turns out every year.
Now, I've heard old world versus new world. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so old world versus new world. Old world is you're kind of talking about the European style, something lighter in alcohol, lighter in actually the robustness of the wine itself, something that you're going to have with food for sure. And the new world is typically the U.S. wines, higher alcohol, higher in tannins, typically newer wines, something that you're not going to age as long. That's the main difference of New World versus Old World wines. And we definitely have New World style here.
I love it. Now, you also make champagne, yes?
Yes, well, we make sparkling wine.
Okay, so champagne versus sparkling wine.
So the main difference is where it's made. There's a few different methods to make sparkling wine, but in order to actually be called champagne, it has to be made in the region of Champagne in France.
Okay.
So it's very similar, but the main difference is where it's made.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have a friend who said that if you combine grapes or actually the red grape and the green grape, that the color is clear. Is that true?
So for most varietals, that's true. The way you actually get red color when you're speaking of red wine is from the skins. Mm-hmm. So in the winemaking process, the skins are in contact with the juice or wine for a number of weeks, 2-3 weeks. And that's really where you're picking up the aromas, the flavor, the tannins, and more specifically the color.
Wow. So how do we drink Malbec?
Sure.
Oh,
Malbec.
we get to do the... wait. We are in a tasting room, aren't we?
We are.
Okay, so what makes this tasting room unique? Or tell us a little bit what the tasting room
Yeah,
is
so
for.
Mesilla de la Vina is a Spanish-themed winery. The reason being is Bob Olson, his favorite wine region in the world is Rioja, and that's where it started. He was in Rioja, Spain, and he thought, you know what, I want to do this. I want to do this in Temecula, California. And that's why you see the ambiance. It's very open, very Mediterranean Spanish style. And we also have a number of Spanish wines on the menu.
I love it. Well, can I tell you what I think is so exciting? I mean, wine tasting for sure. I'm so excited
want
about
that.
this.
Here, yeah.
But I'm also I'm kind of blown away by the fact that you're the next generation.
Yeah, in Temecula Valley, yeah. So my first gig in Temecula was washing glasses at Miramonte Winery off of Rancho, California. And then I went over to Donza del Sol Winery, worked in the tasting room as a busboy, barback essentially. And then I found out that wasn't for me. I wanted to be a part of something, I wanted to be making it essentially. So I interned under 3 different winemakers at Donza del Sol and accumulated about 100 years of winemaking experience just between those
incredible.
3. Yeah,
Wow.
many years. And what's more interesting is that they all basically started in Temecula, and for 30 to 40 years apiece.
Well, that's really good to know about the city of Temecula. Mm-hmm. How many wineries do you think we have here in the city of Temecula?
they're probably at least 50 at this point. Yeah, it's growing dramatically. When I moved here, I mean, it's at least doubled in size.
I love it. And,
Mhm.
and okay, so let's get this party started.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
Yes.
here's the deal: the fact that you are the next generation and you have a whole new vision of what you're bringing to the world when it comes to wine. So let's do
Yeah,
it.
of course. Yeah, so we have here is our 2017 Malbec. It's one of our best-selling wines here. So, you know, a lot of people, what they do is they pour it and then they pour it this way, right? Well, there should be a little bit more involved here. Wine is a romantic experience.
It is, isn't it?
It
That's
is.
what I would
It is.
I
say.
agree. I agree
So
with that.
what I want you to do here is pick up your glass and just take a look at it. What does the color look like? Okay, obviously we're drinking
It's
a
like
red wine here.
Like almost like a cherry color.
Yes, so the brighter, the more vibrant the color typically means that it's a newer wine.
Ah.
When the wine is a little bit more aged, you're gonna have more of a bricky tone, more of an orangey, a little bit brown, depending on how old it actually is. And that's what you're gonna find here at Temecula is that a lot of our wines are new. It's more of the New World style. So first, take a look at that color.
Okay.
Very cherry, right?
Beautiful. This is your Malbec.
Malbec, yes.
Malbec.
So then what you're gonna do is you're gonna give it a little swirl.
Well, this is kind of fun.
So what you're doing here is you're imparting a little bit of oxygen into the wine
Okay.
itself.
So it's breathing.
It's breathing.
Ah.
Yeah, so you're decanting in your own glass essentially at this point. You're just imparting more oxygen, which will thus change the flavor and the aromas of the wine itself. Really bring out what it should be.
Okay.
So once you do that, go ahead and just give it a little sniff. Visualize what you're smelling there.
Thinking of hot air balloons over the vineyard.
Yes.
Oh, wow. So good.
So lots of dark cherries, a little bit of oak influence, maybe a little coffee, little
I love it.
Yeah.
I got that.
yeah. So once you do that, go ahead and just give it a little sip. Pick up the tannins, the cherry flavors. It's very smooth.
Tell me about the tannins. When you say pick up the tannins, tell me a little bit more
So the
about that.
tannins are something that when you taste a wine, there's a few different kinds. I mean, there's actually thousands of different types of tannins, but specific to this wine, it's something that kind of dries your mouth out a little bit, maybe gives you a little bit of a salivation sensation, chalkiness almost. So that's what I mean when I say tannins in the wine itself. But this one, they're definitely tame. Some wines that are brand new, they really hit you hard. But this one is perfect for food or just by itself.
Love it. Now, here's a funny question. This wouldn't be considered leggy. I heard that is actually a descriptive word for wine.
Yeah,
Leggy.
so leggy is
What's a leggy?
What's a leggy?
it's more about the actual alcohol content.
Ah, really?
So when you do the swirl, right, and
Yes.
you see the legs of the wine, which is the little lines that form,
Ah,
it's more of the viscosity of the wine itself, and that's what forms that. But it's typically just the alcohol that you're seeing there.
got it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, and so so as we take this next taste, it's gonna taste a little bit different
It'll
because
taste-
it's been
yeah,
breathing a little longer.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, so go ahead and taste it again, and then, the next step is just to savor and enjoy.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, absolutely.
I think this is amazing. Thank you so much
I
for.
think we get a toast to this.
Oh yes, let's do that.
Yes,
You're-
cheers.
Yeah,
Excellent.
cheers.
Excellent.
To the fabulous
Fabulous.
lifestyle. Anyway, thank you so much, Justin. This is incredible. Again, to all of you, this is the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio, and my name is Marie Wade and Kimieter. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Justin.
You're welcome.